My name is Aaron Lopresti. I've been a comic book artist, a commercial illustrator, and a writer for over 25 years. And this is my YouTube channel. Well, we are officially into October, which means I get to draw a lot of monster characters, which are my favorite. This one you may remember from the 90s. I worked on a book called Sludge for Malibu Comics Ultraverse line. And we had a villain that was conceptually created by Dan Danko, and then I visually gave it life. Steve Gerber added some to the mythos, of course. And I'm speaking of the gone but not forgotten Lord Pumpkin. It's funny how a cool villain never gets old, or in a lot of cases, never gets unpopular. Now, I wanted Lord Pumpkin just to be kind of a monster character. Steve Gerber had his mind made up and his heart set on Sludge being a crime book with a monster in it. So he gave everything a kind of an organized crime slant. When I got the opportunity to write some of the stories, I always did monster stories and tried to ignore the crime stuff as much as I could, because I was really interested in drawing weird monsters and creatures and stuff. And didn't have the same affinity for crime fiction as Gerber did. But despite our differences, we managed to get along and produce, I thought, some pretty good books. I often hear a lot about how people really wish that the Ultraverse had made it. I think we all do. I've said this often, and I mean it. It was the most fun I've ever had working in comics, was working with Dave Ulbrich and Chris Ulm and Tom Mason and Roland Mann and Hank Canals, Dan Danko, the whole gang. It was just a great environment. And it's an environment that allowed me to develop as an artist, so that I started to actually kind of figure things out and get decent at my my chosen craft. I think a lot of that was due to the fact that the guys I was working with, editorially wise, were willing to let me kind of do my thing and not get in the way. And there's a real sort of liberating empowerment, if you will, when no one's putting pressure on you. Or maybe you're not putting pressure on yourself. I think early on in my career, I put a lot of pressure on myself when I was working at Marvel. And there was also that, I mean, the realistic, it wasn't just a feeling, it was true that if I didn't do a good job, I was going to get canned. I never really had that feeling at Malibu. It was like they hired me away from Marvel because they wanted me, and so they expected, or they liked what I was doing, so there wasn't any sort of pressure to perform, if you will. And when that pressure was off, it was a amazing feeling. I could just kind of focus on, being an artist instead of trying to figure out, I did, what would be the wrong step to get me canned at Marvel, trying to figure out what maybe an editor may have wanted, or or stylistically, or any number of things that could trip you up. I was allowed to try things at Malibu, and it was always just so very supportive. So it was really a great environment, especially, like I said, for a young artist trying to figure things out. I was trying to figure out my light source when I was doing Lord Pumpkin, because obviously he had glow coming out of his eyes and his mouth. These are all supposed to be these quick sketches, and then you start noodling and working on it, and you're like, I got to make this better than just a quick little sketch, and then it becomes something more. Monsters always deserve or demand more line work, I think. Of course, my line work is always going to go in the direction of the light source, which is coming from his eyes and his mouth. Always tempted to, like I said, make these more elaborate than I was originally intending them to be. They're supposed to be like these little quick draw videos, and I'm like, oh, what if I do this? What if I add this? It would really look cool if I did this. can't help but keep adding some more black to this. Makes it creepier. These are just supposed to be fun recreational drawings, and it's like I say, it's hard to kind of keep it from becoming more than that because we're all such perfectionists, right? And we don't. But it's fun to kind of be loose and experiment with lines and textures and things like that maybe you would be more apprehensive to try if you're doing a finished drawing or a drawing that you intended to be finished, like commission or something. So I'm not going after the perfect line. I'm just creating some texture and creating a light source, of course, but well, this cross hatching doesn't have to be perfect. Look how fun and creepy that is. You still can't help but try and make these lines blend a little bit more out of the black. So you get more of a feeling of a fade than just lines tacked in over the top of a black mass. You want it to kind of feel like it's fading from light to black. And let's clean up some of these lines a little bit. And there you go. Fun little marker sketch, pen and marker sketch of everybody's favorite pumpkin villain, Lord Pumpkin. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this little demonstration. And I'd appreciate it if you'd take a moment to like and subscribe to this channel. That allows me to grow and produce more content just like this. See you soon.